Good morning. All right, guys, let's get into a nice child's pose. And I'll go with the theme of the song, I am. So let that be your mantra. Inhale, I. Exhale, am. And then fill in the space after that. I am peace. I am contentment. What are you today? And reach your arms out in front of you. And just allow for a soft entrance into this child's pose. Maybe move your hips a little bit side to side. Spread your fingers, and when you're ready to settle in, take a nice wide pose and let your belly soften into your mat. Breathe. Good morning, Georgia. The playlist is in the chat if you'd like to share or follow along with the playlist. And our mantra for today is just I am. I am full. I'm happy. I am content. I am. And as you start to settle into this, start to recognize the breath as it spreads from side to side and top to bottom. And breathe into the wrapping around the body, full deep breaths. On the next inhale, just rise up, lift the chest up and walk to your right side. Left arm on top of right, or maybe just a little bit longer. Relax the shoulders down, let your ears and shoulders be separate. And again, breathe into the left side of your body. Take another breath and move a little bit more to your right side. And just press the hips to the heels. Inhale, rise up and move to the other side. Take your time, walk through center. Right arm on top or longer than left. We're doing exactly what my dog is doing on the floor. Same pose, good job, Holly. Breathe into the right side of the body. All the way from the under part of your arms to the outer part of your hips. Inhale, move to your left side. One more little stretch. Maybe you have a little more space to go. Inhale back to center, reach your arms out in front of you. Spread your fingers, push your hips back even more. And then bring your forearms down, bring your hands in prayer. Take the prayer to the nape of your neck. Relax the shoulders down from the ears. And then extend the arms back out in front of you. Keep the forearms down. Lift up onto your knees. Tuck your toes behind you, underneath you. Come into a forearm plank, shoulders over wrists, shoulders over elbows, excuse me. Push a little bit forward, opening up the front of your chest, spreading your fingers nice and strong through your center as you lay your belly onto the floor, separating your feet as wide as the short edge of your mat. Pull your hips forward, pull your chest forward, resting just above your pubic bone and below the hip bones, your ASIS, the anterior suprailiac spine, those two bony protrusions in the front of our body. And then just turn your eye gaze over your right shoulder, look to your left heel, drop the shoulders down again, keep your glutes as soft as you can. And then bring the chin through the chest to the other side, looking over your left shoulder, towards your right heel. And then bring your chin down to your chest. Reach your arms a little bit longer and stretch them straight. If that's too much for your back, stay where you just were. And then tuck the chin towards the chest and relax the shoulders down. Engage the lats as you squeeze your shoulders towards each other. And then come to your belly. Bring your hands underneath your forehead. Turn your toes in and shake your hips from side to side. Bring your hands by your chest. Bring your feet a little closer together. Come into your first Cobra. Lift your chest up. Keep your legs down. Use the top of the foot and the shin to help elevate the front of the body. Then reach the arms up off the floor and stretch your arms all the way out to the side with your legs still on the floor. Bringing the hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, palms together, knuckles away from you. Stretch the front of your chest and shoulders, pushing the pubic bone down. One more breath. And then empty the breath, push the hands to the floor and sit into your child's pose. Tuck your toes. So sit all the way back. Tucking the bottoms of your feet, reaching your arms out a little bit further. And then walk your hands back to your knees, round your spine, and sit back on your heels in a low squat. And if this is not right for your knees, just come into a forward fold. Open your knees wide, walk your arms in front of you, push through the heel of the hands, and wrap your knees on the outside of your triceps. And then draw your belly button to your spine and round your back. Let your head hang down. Try to create no tension in the neck and shoulders. One more breath here, pulling and pushing at the same time. Walk your hands in, lift your chest up, lengthen your spine, and take your hands to your right side. Just place the hands on the floor. Move your knees a little bit to the left, and just find a little bit of space here, just a nice little twist. Inhaling and exhaling. And then come back to center, walk around through center to the other side, bringing the hands to the left side and the knees a little bit to the right side. So for those of you who might have done my class yesterday, you might feel this in your waistline a little bit. And then make your way back to center, walking the hands in front of you. Once again, taking your knees wide, squeezing the knees on the outside of your triceps, pushing the heel of the hand forward, pulling the belly into your spine, let your head hang down. And then walk your hands back in, knees back in. Drop the heels to the floor. Separate your feet about hips width apart, which is about 2 fists. We're at the back of our mat and sway a little side to side. And if for any reason you're not at the back of your mat, don't worry about it. Stay where you are. And then make your way to the center. Place your hands on your shins. Lengthen your spine. Crown of the head forward, tailbone back. So you have one long line from the top of your head to your tailbone. Lengthen your spine here, arch back. And then place your hands on your hips or your thighs, maybe into the creases of your hips. Press down through your feet, rise up, and bring your hands to your back. Pull the elbows closer together, lift your chest up. And come back to standing up nice and straight. So separate your feet, hips width apart, arms by your side, spread your fingers. Lift the knees up, tuck the tailbone underneath you. Bring your collarbones forward, shoulders down. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up overhead. Turn your palms together, interlace your fingers and take them to the sky. Drop your shoulders down, bring your ribs towards your hips. Lift up and over to the right side. Stay here for a moment as you bring your hands behind your head. Open up your elbows, stretch the front of your chest and shoulders. Point the right elbow towards the floor, the left elbow towards the sky. One more breath. Now bend your knees and take your hands and bring them towards the right diagonal. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, one more breath. Then rise up, come back to center, lift your heart up. Open up your chest. Lean to your left side. Bring the arms behind your head, right elbow points up, left elbow points down. Shoulders and chest are open, tuck that tailbone underneath you, lift out of your hips. And then bring your arms out in front of you as you bend your knees and you take your arms to your left diagonal. Send the weight evenly into both legs. And then rise back up, come back to center, lift your heart up. Bring the arms down by your side and back behind you. Interlace your fingers one more time, knuckles down towards the earth as you squeeze your elbows and shoulders together. Lead with your heart as you forward fold, hang your head. Let the arms come away from your back as the head points down towards the sky, towards the floor. And go back to your mantra of I am, what am I, right here. I am happy, I am content, I am frustrated because I don't like this pose. What are you? Let the arms come down when you're ready. Hands toes, climb to your fingertips, broaden the collarbones. Keep your long spine, walk your hands out once, as long as you can get it, as far away as you can. I'm on my fingertips, maybe you are as well. Keep looking towards the front of your mat as you take a walk and find yourself into your plank pose. High plank, push the earth away, open up the upper shoulders, pull the knees up, draw the belly button into the spine, and then look towards your spine, lift your hips up into downward facing dog. And then just walk your dog a little bit side to side as we move through this downward dog position, starting to settle in, find where we're at. And then let's make our way just to staying still for a few breaths. Pressing your chest towards your thighs, head towards the floor. One more breath, we're going to take it back to that high plank. Shoulders over the wrist, pull the belly in, push the earth away, open up the upper back. And then one more time, push back to downward facing dog. So we shouldn't have to move our hands or even our feet at this point. We've kind of settled them into the right position, but if you need to, go ahead. Chest to thighs. High on your toes, knees lifted, come back to your high plank pose. Lower down knees, chest and chin to the floor, elbows hug the rib cage. Glide forward, low cobra. We've been here before. Lift the hands up, now lift the legs up for this one. Breathe, elbows squeeze together. Now extend your arms and legs out. Let everything rest to the floor. As you inhale, bring everything back up. Squeeze your elbows and shoulder blades together. Inhale, release everything down to the floor. Exhale, inhale as we pull up. Exhale, release one more time. Inhale, lift up, hold. Squeeze your heels together, squeeze your elbows together. And then sit back into a child's pose. Tuck the toes underneath you. Inhale to all fours, downward dog as you exhale, hips up in the air. Bringing your feet closer together towards the back of the mat. Raise the right leg in the air. Bend your left knee, bring your chest towards your thighs, spread your fingers. Right knee comes in round and curl as you step it through. Help it out if you need to. Right knee over the ankle, feel free to go to your knee or stay where you're at. Climb to your fingertips, shoulders back, collarbones forward. Take your right arm forward, thumb up to the sky, and then trace it back and around as you open up to the right side. Hug the right hip in towards your midline. Spread your fingers, explore here. If this isn't the right placement for you immediately, make some movement until you're where you need to be. Pressing down evenly through the bottom of the foot, big toe, little toe, heel, and ball of that foot. One more breath. As you exhale, lower the right hand, straighten the front leg, and fold over it. You might have to shorten your stance or put your hands on blocks. Lengthen your spine, pull your collarbones forward, shoulders back. Exhale, fold over your right leg. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep settling into this, so keep making those little adjustments as needed. One more breath, gang. Good, inhale, rebend the front knee. Let's turn a quarter turn to your left side. So you're facing the long edge of your mat, your toes are slightly pigeoned, and softly hang your head in between your two sides. Maybe you move a little bit from side to side, especially if you want to dance with this song. And come back to center. Climb to your fingertips, lengthen your spine. Good, walk your hands out in front of you. Place your palms on the floor. Softening the knees, making sure you're not hyperextending through the knees, so your weight shifts back to your heels. Biceps by your ears, breathe in, opening wide, inhale. And exhale. Walk your hands back underneath you, lengthen your spine. Walk back around to the front of your mat. Step back to a high plank. Take a breath here in your plank. And either lower to your knees. Karen, watch those shoulders, okay? Make sure you're not dumping into your neck. Look forward, either come to your knees or go down with halfway with your chaturanga. Upward dog, or you're in low cobra. Pull the collarbones forward, shoulders down, and then roll back to downward facing dog. and just make the adjustments you need to in your downward facing dog. Walking dog is perfectly fine. Making movement is perfectly fine, but if you like the stillness, hang there in the stillness. Bring your feet together. Left leg rises in the air. Look between your hands and bring that left leg to the space in between your two hands. Either go to your right knee or stay where you are. Line it up, knee over the ankle, climb to your fingertips, broaden your collarbones. Hug that left hip towards the center. And then take your left arm out in front of you, thumb up. And then trace it back behind you until you have it over your left shoulder. Squeeze the hips to center. Lift your belly off your thigh. Inhale and exhale. That back leg is strong too, don't forget about it. Couple more breaths. Relax the shoulder away from the ears, one more breath. Exhale, left hand comes down, straighten the left leg. Make the adjustments you might need to make. Maybe you need to shorten your stance. Maybe you need to put your hands on blocks or just keep your knee bent. Try to find the length in your spine as well. So we're not only stretching our hamstrings, but we're keeping that long spine. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Good. Now rebend the knee and we're going to turn to the right side, to the long edge of our mat on the right side now. Toes are slightly pigeoned and we hold in between each side. Trying to reach the crown of the head towards the floor. If you need to, you lengthen your legs. If you need to shorten it, you shorten it, right? If you easily get this, come in a little closer. Climb to your fingertips, walk your hands out in front of you. Press your chest into hammock pose, softening the chest in between the arms. Remember not to hyperextend those knees. So there's a little bend in the knees or there's a little weight forward into the balls of the feet, or maybe a little of both. Breathe into the sides of your body. Inhale, walk your hands back underneath you. Lengthen your spine and walk around to your left leg, low lunge. Step back to your high plank. Resist the earth. Pull the shoulders open. Look forward. Go to your knees or halfway down Chaturanga Dandasana. Roll over your toes or you're on your belly. Upward dog or low cobra. Beautiful, guys. Hang it back into downward facing dog. Bring your feet together. Right leg in the air. Step your right leg all the way through. Take your right arm out in front of you, sweep the floor, open it up. Spinal twisting. Right arm down, right leg straight as you fold over it. Hang your head, pull your right hip back, and your left hip forward. Inhale, rebend front knee. Walk your hands inside and around to the left or to facing the left side of the mat. Rise up to your fingertips. Place your hands on your hips, flat back, come up to standing. Tuck your tailbone underneath you. Get rid of that tension in your lower back. Turn your left toes to the left. Arms open, warrior 2, facing the back side of your mat. Or looking towards the back side of your mat. You're facing the side. Left knee is over the ankle, in line with your hip. Over second, third toes. Spread your fingers nice and broad. Inhale. Sink a little bit lower without creating tension in your knees. Just releasing this right hip a little bit more. 1 more breath. As you inhale the next breath, arms come up. Turn around, face the front of the room. As you exhale, we flow. Step back, high plank, low plank. Take your vinyasa, add, skip. Do what you need to do. Chest to thighs, hang your head, downward facing dog. Stepping your feet closer. Left leg rises in the air. Left leg steps through. Right arm moves in as the left arm comes forward and we sweep it down, up and open. Just a couple of breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Lifting your belly off your thigh. Empty the breath, left leg straightens, fold over it. Make the adjustments you need. Use your blocks, use your bent knee, do whatever you have to do here. Relax the shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. Soft bend in the knee as we turn to face the long edge of our mat to our right side. Come to your fingertips, hands to your hips. Rise up to standing. Tuck your tailbone underneath you. Do a little bit mild back bend if you need to. Right toes turn to the right. Left toes are facing about 90 degrees. Arms come out. We gaze to the right hand. Make the adjustments again. Knee over the second, third toe, or in line with the second, third toe, over the ankle, in line with your hip, releasing that left hip. So the pressure is not in the knee, right? It's just in the quadriceps holding us up, but the left hip releases so we can get a little bit deeper. Inhale. And exhale. Find your stillness. Couple more breaths. As you inhale, arms come up. As you exhale, we pivot around and step back in vinyasa. Taking extra if you need to, or less if you need to. Chest to your thighs. Inhale. And exhale. Feet together, right leg in the air. Let's flow. Right leg steps through. Right arm reaches forward, down, up, and around as we twist. Exhale, right hand down, right leg straightens. Inhale, rebend front knee, walk around a quarter turn. Rise up, hands to hips, come up to standing. Maybe a little back bend here as you turn the left toes to the left. Warrior 2 on your left side. Breathe, inhale. And exhale. So spread your toes, my nice long lines here. Inhale, rise up, turn your left toes back to the left, and take warrior 2 to the front of your mat. Right arm out, left arm back. Right knee over second, third toes. Find the engagement here in your legs. Eye gaze is steady and still. I am strong like a warrior. I think my shirt even says that. Breathe. Hang out just a few more breaths, guys. Hang in there. As you empty the breath, rewind, take your vinyasa. Settle into it. Do what you need to do here. This is your practice. Feet together, left leg rises. Step that left leg through. Right hand moves in, left arm moves out. Take it down, up and around. Open up for your twist. Find space. Exhale, left leg straightens, head hangs towards your shin. Inhale, soft bend, turn to your right side, 1/4 turn. Hands to your hips, lengthen your spine as you rise up. Mild back bend. Take what you need. Right toes turn right. Warrior 2, gazing towards the right middle finger. Arms are strong, shoulders draw back towards the midline of your back. Good, stay for one more breath. Inhale, arms and legs straighten, turn, 1/4 turn. Left toes, turn to the left. And here we go, warrior 2. So knee over ankle, in line with second, third toes, in line with your hip. Breathe in, breathe out. Settle into it a little bit deeper, not by going into your knee, but by releasing that back hip. Inhale and exhale. One more. As you empty the breath, windmill down and vinyasa. You don't need to do it. You can skip it. You can go to your knees, but you can also take extra push-ups if that's your game. Good. Stay here in downward facing dog. Hang your head. Come back to your high plank. Push the heel of the hand away. Pull the right knee into your chest, round and curl. And kick it up in the air, 3-legged. Open the right hip on top of the left hip. Let the right foot kind of hang back. Keep the weight in the right and left arms. Relax the foot behind you. Turn your hips square. Right knee back to the chest. Come forward to that plank. Release the foot for plank. Downward dog, hips up. Good. Come back to your high plank. Left knee to your chest, round and curl. Good, kick it back up, 3-legged. Open the left leg, over the right. Let the knee bend, let the foot relax behind you. Keep the left arm carrying as much weight as the right arm here. Breathe in, breathe out. And then turn your hips squared. Right knee to the chest. Step back, high plank. Lower low plank. Upward and downward facing dogs. Hips up in the air. Make movement where you need to. Bring your feet a little closer. Let's lift the right leg in the air. Open that hip one more time. As you turn your hip forward, bring your right knee to your chest and step it through. Turn your left foot on its side. Warrior two, facing the left side of your mat. Gaze is your right hand. Bring your arms and legs straight. Bring the back foot in once or twice. Opening out, now that our hips may be a little bit more open, reach out towards the front of your mat. Right hand down, left arm up. Stack your shoulders and breathe. Imagine that you're leaning against a wall behind you. So hold on to anything except your knee, right? It doesn't have to be your shin, it could be the floor, your big toe, as long as it's not your knee. It could also be your thigh, right above you. Take another big breath here. See if you can lift the bottom side of your torso up and in. And then look down at your right foot. Inhale, reverse your triangle, And then re-bend the knee, left hand on your hip. Right arm moves in front of you or to the side or on a block. Garudasana as you lift your left leg off the floor. Spiraling your shoulders on top of each other, hips on top of each other. Still against that wall. Left arm raises up. Maybe your eye gaze goes up. Flex that left foot. Your left foot is as strong as your right foot in the air. Right? So nice firm power. Left arm is reaching up. Right arm, maybe you're binding, maybe you're taking prayer. Right? So, but if your left arm is up, it's nice and strong. One more big breath. As you exhale, left hand to your hip. Look down at your right foot, bend your right knee. Gently step back. Reverse your warrior. Left arm down, right arm up. Oh, Rachel, here's our song. Release the hands to the floor. Step back, high plank. Upward dog, downward dog. Feet together, left leg up. Left leg steps. Windmill into warrior two. Rachel. Good, pump it. Arms up, move the back foot in once. Reach out. And then down for triangle. Rachel. Shoulders stack over hips. Reach your fingers up. Good, triangle pose. I lost my earplugs, hold on. Where are we? Keep it going. Some of you froze. Triangle pose. Why don't I hear my earpods? Inhale. And exhale. Can you guys hear me? No? Yes? Okay. All right. I don't know why I can't hear. Good. Rise back up. Reverse your triangle. And then softly bend your front knee. Reach your left hand out. Right hand to your hip. Garudasana. Shoulders stack. Hips on top of each other. Maybe that right arm comes up. Flex your foot. Reach it away from you. You're like a letter L. Now, if you're taking any other binds, anything else that's going on, feel free to do so. Take a few more breaths here. Just settle into some peace. I am peace. And then softly rebend your front knee. Reverse your warrior. Exhale, windmill down to the floor. Take your vinyasa. You guys do that. Let me see if I can make sure I have it all on. And then we meet your cells, our cells, together in downward facing dog. Press right knee, left knee. Take your right leg in here. Open your right hip over your left hip. Bring your right knee to your chest, round and curl. Shift forward. Step your right foot to your left side. Open up onto your right hand. Maybe you need to drop to your knees, or maybe you're not going to open up. Maybe you hold your leg with your big toe grip. Left arm comes down, hips go up. Keep your right leg where it is outside of your left leg. Breathe in, breathe out. And then bring it back to your chest. Come back to your plank. Kick it in the air. Open up the hip. On top of each other. Look over your left shoulder. And see if you want to place the foot on the floor behind you. Coming into your wild thing. Lifting your hips up. Exhale, release your right hand. Right leg back in the air. Right knee to your chest. Step through. Lower your left knee to the floor. Release the toes. So make sure your right knee is over the ankle and you're not sitting directly on top of your left kneecap. Press the top of the foot and shin down for a little stability and a little conversation in that left hip. And bring the arms up overhead. Inhale. Palms together, gaze is up, but not so much of your neck, right? So a little bit more of your eye than your neck. Exhale, prayer to the heart. Lengthen your spine. Inhale, twist. Left elbow outside right knee. Hold here. So if you remember way back in the beginning of class, we did a squat and we had ourselves twisting to the same side. Breathe in, breathe out. So a couple of options here are to stay. Tuck your left toes underneath you. Or maybe take an arm balance, hands to the floor outside your right thigh, lifting up your legs off the floor. Maybe any other variations are always welcome. So, come back to center when you're ready. If you're playing with it, let's all bring the knee back down to the floor if it's not. Come back to center, arms up. Push that left hip forward. Straighten front leg as you exhale, fold over it. Any variation of a split. Half split, sit all the way back down. Sit on a block or take a full split. I want you to explore what's right for you today. So I'm just going to stay here, folding over my right leg. Maybe I walk my hands a little forward and push my hips back a little bit, shoulders relaxed. Push the top of the foot and shin down, big toe presses down. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Softly bend your front knee coming out of it. Tuck your left toes underneath you. Shoot that right leg back in the air, shake it out. Take anything else you want, three-legged, four-legged, no yasa. And meet in downward facing dog or child's pose if it's too much for you. Chest to your thighs. Left leg in the air. Open your left hip out. Open it up, just press evenly into both arms. And then turn it back to center, bring your left knee to your chest. Shift your left leg out to the right side, maybe open up, Vashisthasana variation or wild thing variation. Don't let that left hip drop, pull it up, reach up and over. Good, right arm down. Stay here, draw back to a down dog, but keep your leg outside of your right hip or onto the floor. Just a little more information. And then bring it back into your chest, kick it up in the air, open it up. Follow it over your right arm if you want to flip your dog. Flip your dog here. Push the ribs. One more. Rewind, left leg in the air. Left knee to your chest. Step it through. Good. Lower your right knee to the floor. Did I skip something? And stretch back into your hamstring stretch or split, half or full. Maybe walk your hands forward and open up the back a little bit more as well. One more breath. Just make your way out of this carefully. Bend the front knee. Chest lifted. Tuck the left toes underneath you. Actually, stay here. Arms come up overhead. Palms together in prayer. Lift your heart up. Bring the prayer to your heart center. Lengthen your spine. I might have taken this out of sequence. I apologize. Lengthen your spine. Twist to the left side. Right arm outside your left thigh. Hooking thumbs to your heart. Option to take your toes off the floor and just stay here. You missed our song. Be careful. Text me when you get there. Love you. Good. Option, as we did earlier, is to bring your hands down to the floor and then sit on the tricep ledge that you have created, lifting one or maybe both legs off the floor. Oops. I'm going to come down and straighten out my mat. Come back. And since I took it out of sequence, arms come up. Push your hips forward. Release your hands. Let's step back. Three-legged dog, left leg in the air. Take a vinyasa with 3 legs, 4 legs, no arms, no yasa. Meet yourself in downward dog. Soften your knees. Walk your feet a little bit closer to the middle of the mat. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Softly fold in a forward fold, Uttanasana. Grab your opposite elbows and sway, hand side to side. Switch the cross of your arms. Open up your back. I am. What am I right now? How do I feel? How can I express myself? And then letting go of the arms and letting them dangle. Big toe presses, chin to chest, roll up slowly. Shoulders roll back and around. Inhale the arms up. I thought that was for me. Palms up over your shoulders, drop your shoulders down. Lift your knees up. And lean to the right side. I don't think they can hear you, I hope. Come back to center, be careful. Exhale, left side. Life goes on around our yoga class. Come back to center, lift up. Exhale, bring your arms behind your back. Fingers, palms together. Fingers, wrists, forearms, elbows, or reverse prayer. You choose. And then keep your weight moving into your left leg as the right leg lifts up. Hold it. Now scoot it back behind you. Dip your belly and arch your back. Keep your crown of your head long, reaching in 2 long lengths. Pressing down so strongly through that left leg for balance and stability. Inhale, lift your knee up to your chest. Oops. Extend the right leg out in front of you. Step it forward 2 to 3 feet. Adjust your feet. Lengthen your spine. And then fold over your legs so you're in a tabletop position. Big toe presses down on that right foot particularly, so you really want to stay stable through your hips. And then keep just the tabletop position. And if you can release your hands and bring biceps by your ears like you're being pulled in 2 directions. Reach, so keep pulling that right hip back, left hip forward. 1 more breath. Rise up to stand. Good. Take your left arm under your right arm once or twice. Bring your left knee to your chest, balance. Cross it over once or twice, eagle wrap. Tailbone tucks, shoulders back behind you, down to your tailbone. Breathe. Hugging everything towards the midline. Sitting lower but not compromising your form, so you can unwrap your leg if you need to. And then rise all the way up, release it. Hands to prayer. Separate your feet. Ground yourselves. Inhale. And exhale. Arms up overhead, inhale. Take your hands behind your back, fingers, wrists, forearms, elbows, or reverse prayer. Whatever you might have done on the last side. Shift your weight to your left leg, right leg comes up for balance. And then kick that right leg back behind you, dip your belly, arch your back. Are we on the wrong leg? Let's switch legs, I believe, yeah? Breathe. Length of the head, crown of the head to the tailbone. Inhale, bring that knee to your chest. Extend it out in front of you. And then step it down 2 to 3 feet. Make your adjustment. I have to step back just a little bit. Square your shoulders, square your hips. Pull that left big toe towards the floor. And start to lengthen your spine, crown of the head towards the tailbone. Don't go down too far. Don't let your back round. If your back rounds, back off a little bit. Come back a little higher. Breathe. So pull left hip back, right hip forward. And now if you can reach your arms in front of you, keep the biceps by the ears. Good. Pull that left hip back, right hip forward. Make sure you're not hyperextending, particularly through the front knee. Looking good, guys. Inhale, rise up. Right arm is going to go under left arm once or twice. Right leg lifts up, balance. And then right leg crosses over once or maybe twice, eagle wrap, Garudasana. Tuck your tailbone underneath you, everything through the midline of your body. So from your arms to your elbows to your knees, your feet. You don't have to have a double bind. Sit a little bit lower, square the hips. And then inhale, rise up and unbind. Let's take our feet apart and fold into a wider leg. Hang your head, sway a little side to side. Come back, halfway lift. I'm going to step my feet back a little bit, but you can stay where you are. Hands on the floor, out in front of you. So bend your knees, options. This is it. This is one option. So you're going to plug your knees on your triceps is one option, or plug your knees on the outside of your triceps is another option. Look forward. Keep your hips as high as you can, and maybe you're going to lift one leg, or maybe you can lift 2 legs coming into your crow pose. Toes touch, heels reach towards your buttocks. If you can't do crow pose just yet, just work at maybe lifting 1 toe, 1 foot at a time. And if you're in crow pose and you're used to jumping back, jump back. If not, step back and everybody flow. Upward and downward dogs. Right leg in the air. Right knee to your chest, round curl. Right knee to your right wrist. Stay here for a moment. Keep the left toes tucked under. Shimmy them back. Release the knee to the floor. Top foot down. Walk your hands back a little bit closer to your hips. If you need a block, you place it underneath your hip. If you don't have a block, a pillow, blanket, books work fine. All right, so sit back, keeping your spine tall. And then walk your arms out a little bit more in front of you. And fold where you first feel the point of resistance. Stay there for a few breaths perhaps, and then fold a little lower if you have it. This is a good time for a water break. So let your belly soften. Let your head be soft and easy, relaxed. Keep your hips as squared as you can. So just notice that perhaps with each breath, you find a little bit more space, maybe just a little bit. Slowly come to your hands. Rise back up. Now let your right hip, if it's not on the floor, come to the floor and turn to your left side, the long side of your mat. Take your left leg out to the side. So ideally you're sitting on both sitting bones, or maybe you're sitting on a block or blanket, something lifting you up. Arms out to the side, and then just turn towards your left leg. Just your body. And then reach your arms towards the foot. 2 arms. Fold over your left leg, toes up towards your face. Right hip is grounded, shoulders are away from the ears. Then take your right hand outside the foot, shin, ankle, anywhere but your knee. Take your left arm and bind it behind your back. Turn your right ear towards your knee. Pull evenly away from your foot and towards your hand. Nice stretch on that right side. On the inhale, we release both binds. Right arm comes up, right hand behind your hip. Sweep yourself up, pulling that hip forward. And exhale, come back to center. Actually, let's come forward, face forward with your left leg out. And then cross the right leg on top of it and fold over. Hang your head. So shoelace, this is a little bit more yin-y. So relax the left foot, relax the right foot. Maybe you have a block and you'd like to put your head on top of the block. All right, so the knees are just crossed over. Everything relaxes. Yep, good. I love to put the block under my head. That's just so I don't create any more tension than I need, right? No tension in my neck. Good. Breathe in. And breathe out. Slowly walk your hands back in so you lift up. Release your right leg. Shake it out. Rub out the knees if you need to. Bend your knees. I'm going to turn this way. Bend your knees, hands under your thighs. Lean back and lift your heels up off the floor. And then bring your shins parallel to the floor. Flex your feet. If you can release your hands, release them. And flex through the wrists. So reach your fingers forward. Your toes pull back, your arms pull forward. Your knees are right maybe over your hips. Breathe in and out. Good, one more breath. As you exhale, bring your left foot forward in front of your right. Come forward and make your way through your vinyasa. Doesn't matter how you get there. It's the journey, as they say. Left leg in the air. Left knee to chest rounding curl. Left knee to left wrist. Right toes are tucked. Stay there for a moment. Shimmy that right hip back as far as you can. Walk your hands back in, then release the toes. And just kind of look at it. Make sure you're not stickling your toes. And see if you can get that right leg towards the middle of your mat, towards the midline. Lifting your chest up, sinking down. So if you need a block, it's great to place it right under that sitting bone, keeping your hips level. And then walk your hands out until you first find for me it's very early, but when you find your first point of resistance, and breathe into that space. Don't rush it, don't force it. Test the water before you jump in. And then maybe you come down a little bit more and stay for a few breaths. Inhale and exhale, letting go, making sure there's no tension in your neck and shoulders. Let your heart melt towards the floor. Let your hips relax. Try not to create excess tension anywhere, right? We have enough tension. We don't need to create more. And here we are. I am content. I am enough. Take another breath as you bring your hands back. Lift your chest. Good. If you have a block, release it for a moment. You may want to put it back in later. Drop your left hip to the floor. Turn to the right side, long side of your mat. Right leg out. Hands towards your side. So make sure both sitting bones are down. Lengthen your spine. I'll turn a little bit more this way for you. And then turn towards your right leg. And lean over, bringing your hands on either side. Relax your shoulders. Folding over. Now sometimes there's pressure on this bent left knee. It's nice to put a block under there as well, if you have it. And now take your left hand outside your right foot. Maybe it's just your shin or your thigh. Right hand behind you, left ear towards your knee. And as I pull my foot away from my hand, I pull my hand towards my foot. So I get a little bit more length. I feel it all the way underneath my arm to the outside. Couple more breaths. Inhale, come back up, release the binds, left hand down, right arm up, push your hips up, and then come back down to the floor. Swing your right leg around to the front, take your left leg, knee over the knee, and then relax your feet and fold over. Remember, if you had that block, it's nice to let your head rest in there. We're not here as long as we would be, say, in a yin class, but we're gonna make it a nice relaxing posture. So release as much tension as you can. Doesn't matter how far down you go, the feet are relaxed so you don't have to pull them back towards your face. Good, slowly come on back. Shake out your left leg, rub it out. Bend your knees. I'm actually going to turn my entire mat now. Bend your knees, feet are on the floor. Good. Hands underneath your thighs, lift your chest. Lean back and come up onto your toes. Lift your knees off the floor and shins parallel to the floor. Take your arms out to the side. Bring your knees together. Reach over to your right side. Reach over to your left side. Open up your arms. Extend arms and legs if you want your full boat pose. Lift your chest up, shoulders down. Heart lifts. One more breath. Lower your legs to the floor, lift your arms up. As you exhale, reach forward towards your toes, don't touch. So I have a long spine, my shoulder, my top of my head to my tailbone is one long line. But I can feel this in my hamstrings, the toes are pointing up towards my face. Now I want you to pull your belly to your spine, round your back, like you got punched in the stomach, but drop those shoulders. And then roll down slowly to the floor. As you get to the floor, knees come to your chest. Hug them in. Breathe in and breathe out. Take your hands on top of your knees, let your tailbone be on the floor, and make circles, opposing circles with your legs. And then reverse that. And then bring the knees to the chest, round and curl your spine, hug onto the tops of your shins or your ankles. Lower your head and place your feet on the floor. So I get this giant old arch when I do that. I'm going to tilt my pelvis so that I imprint my spine here. Don't turn your head, just listen to my voice. Hips over or knees over the ankles. And then start to peel just your lower back off the floor until you reach, then slowly start peeling everything else off until you're on your shoulders. Release your hands and bring them underneath your back, palms together, knuckles away from you. Energetically draw your heels towards your hands and your hands towards your heels and your knees towards the front of your mat. Without moving your head, just lift your Buddha belly breath, big. I am strong, I am powerful. And then release your arms, upper, mid, lower back down. And let your knees windshield wiper side to side. Come back to center. Line up your heels with your sitting bones. Reach your hands so they graze your heels. Tilt your pelvis so your back imprints. Peel your spine off the floor, resting on your shoulders or a block. Or perhaps you want to take a full wheel. Hands come by your shoulders and you gently raise your body up in the air. Big, beautiful chakrasana, heart opening. Stretching the entire front side of your body. Stay for a couple of breaths. Make your way. Find a little stillness in the power of this pose. Little peace. And then when you're ready to come come down, top of the head, upper, mid, lower back to the floor, and hug your knees into your chest. Rock on your spine. Arms out shoulder height. Let your knees fall to the right side as you look to the left side. And switch sides. Come back to center. Draw your knees to your chest, round and curl. Grab a hold of your heels or your calves or the back of your thighs and lift your legs up in the air. Now let go and reach your hands towards your feet. Belly pulls in, shoulders raise up. Lower your head, lower your arms. Take your feet over your head or on a wall, or stay supported with a block and lift your legs up in the air. So that's another option. Don't turn your head, just stay here for a few breaths, or if you need to come out of it, you'll start to peel your spine down, one vertebrae at a time. Lowering your legs eventually all the way to the floor. Taking your final pose, fish pose, Untitled. Lifting the heart, resting lightly on the top of your head. Pull your collarbones open, shoulders squeeze towards each other. Any variations of the pose is welcome. Here's one. When you're ready to come out of this, gently bring your chin to your chest. Roll down. And if you'd like to take one more spinal twist, go ahead and take that. Otherwise, let's all meet in Shavasana on your backs. Your final pose of the class. A non-physical pose. Non-doing. Just being. So let your body melt into the mat, let your thoughts melt away. Go back, if you'd like, to that mantra of I am. Inhale, I. Exhale, am. I am at peace. Once again, I am content. I am. As always, I invite you to stay in your Shavasana longer if that's something that you can find the time for. If you're ready to come out of it, start to make small movements, engage deeper breaths. Maybe stretch your arms and legs in two different directions. Slowly make your way onto your right side, make a pillow for your head. Stay there as long as you need. And when you're ready to come to any comfortable seat, bring yourself into that space, bring your hands to your heart center, close your eyes, gaze at the tip of your nose. Om Shanti, 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 Om peace, peace, peace to to all. As we bow down and honor each other, the light we find within each one of us. Namaste, Satnam, go in peace. Thank you for being here this morning, sharing in our practice together. For those of you at home, stay fit, stay healthy.